So our first presenter will be Laird Garner. And the question that I have for you to talk about a little bit is what is the current state of the mobile advertising industry as we know it?
What's important to understand is really just how to define mobile advertising, mobile marketing to begin with. And a lot of my personal approach to this is that mobile marketing is not mobile advertising. That could take a long time to describe, but essentially the potential for mobile devices to create a relationship between the owner and whoever the brand is that wants to have that relationship with a consumer goes far beyond being able just to put up some sort of an image that positions them with that person. So from my perspective, marketing is a much deeper interaction. And just stepping down through these, just by the nature of it, we had a conversation even last night with Philippe brought some things up of saying that you can tell a lot about a person by the kind of mobile phone that they have. And that's very true, far beyond even what we have as our own PCs or laptops, whether we're an Apple guy or a PC guy or whatever. The mobile phone very much has the potential to extend who we are from a personality standpoint, whether it's our ringtones, the images that we have on it, how we use it, whether we use text or whether we just use it to make phone calls, whatever. It says a lot about who we are personally. And that means something when it comes to the marketing channel that it is. Now, as part of that channel, it is just, again, by its nature, it's highly targeted and it's highly personal. The potential for that, again, dealing with all kinds of privacy issues and all those kinds of things, it still has the potential for more valuable marketing data than any other medium that's out there. The important part of understanding what that is that the consumer has to have control. They've said that over and over again, even when it comes to the internet or other types of media. But now that this is an extension of me personally, I had better had control of the messaging and things that I'm receiving. And so that's extremely important. Another facet to what mobile marketing is that important to understand is that there are more technologies, more media types in play through this medium than in any other. The fact that you can use location, the fact that it can be video, the fact that it can be audio, text, images, it's really a convergence of all those different types of media types on a single platform, on a single device. The complexity of that should not be taken for granted. It's very difficult to try and bridge all those different kinds of capabilities, which again leads to, and this obviously from this session where we're going to with 2D code scanning, has some interesting ways of getting around some of that kind of stuff, and that'll come out, I think, later in the presentation. Also important to understand that what is real now. There's a lot of different things, everything from mobile TV to text messaging, all kinds of things being called mobile advertising or mobile marketing. Right now, I think it's a foregone conclusion that SMS short code campaigns are now mainstream. There are real brands putting real money into making this an interactive channel for reaching their consumers. Where this will change over time is that the data and mobile internet intensive campaigns are really still being experimented with. But what's going to really change this is just really recently, as we've seen really all the major carriers announcing flat rate data plans and kind of an all-you-can-eat package that's simple, straightforward. You just pay one thing a month. You don't have to worry about download charges, all those different kinds of things. That is going to have a huge impact on mobile marketing, or just mobile as a specific communications medium between companies and their users. So you're going to see, as those rates, as they always will, continue to decline, that's going to be a big shift in usability and how people take advantage of it. Another part of that for what is real now is that the more of these different kinds of things that are preloaded on handsets will drive the different kind of use cases. That's a significant, it's a fairly significant barrier right now. Is if I have an all-you-can-eat, data plan of some sort, but I have virtually nothing on my handset to use that for, then that's another layer that I have to do. I have to download stuff. I have to download applications just to use it. Now, where this all fits, again, where we're going, I think, with this session, with 2D code scanning, and I really believe is the richest direct response vehicle that's ever been devised. And what I put up here, everything from, from a marketing background, everything from tearing out a reply card that are still used in a ton of the magazines that you see scanned or hanging up around here, to 800 numbers, to web clicks, to short codes. We've kind of seen that progression to mobile. Now code scanning, and this one. This to me has been, as I spent time inside of Sprint, analyzing all kinds of different media and technologies and things, and trying to help them at a small level figure out what's real, what they should be spending their time on. What really captured me about 2D codes was the answer to this question. What happens if every visual medium that exists now becomes an interactive medium, now becomes direct response, now becomes something that I can capture while I'm on the go, no matter where I am, whether it's a 5-story billboard on the side of a building that happens to be a code, or if it's in a business card, or if it's on TV, or if it's on an internet site. If I can capture information instantly and get to the kind of, whether it's bus schedules or all the different kind of use cases that are coming out, it doesn't have to be advertising. It's just a matter of what happens if I can click on something that is in the physical world and get information, capture it, save it, make sure that I don't forget. What happens when that happens? And I think that's really that's where everything is going with this. It really does potentially change everything.
Thank you, Laird.
What makes this time different? Is it because so much of it will be leveraged on an existing infrastructure in the sense that off of handheld devices as opposed to a proprietary device? Is it the market has matured?
Anybody want to take that one on?
I'll jump into that. I think it's some of what you just said from an installed base, there's a lot of issues that are different and continue to be different. I don't think, this isn't, the reason for this trial is it's a trial still at this stage of the game. But there's an installed base of camera phones that's huge. And again, I think from a data plan perspective, the fact that you're sending data, that's another piece that has to get there where free really is free, from a consumer standpoint. And I think the carriers working through the CTIA are working on getting an ecosystem set up so that there is accountability in the system. I think that's one of the things that they understand, that this can't really just be kind of the Wild West sort of a thing from a security standpoint and all those different kinds of things. And when you really get down to it as well, this really isn't new technology. If you want to start talking about things like near field communication, NFC sorts of things, okay, that's new. That's still something that you have to do. But there have been this has been going on in Europe. This has been going on in Asia. So you've been able to see some successes and see some failures. And I think, the way that I've seen this progress so far is that the wireless carriers and the CTIA are taking a pretty reasonable approach to this in saying, what are the pieces that we have to have in place? What are the standards that need to be there? And if we can set up that base sandbox of things that are in place, then it can suddenly open up to a lot of startup companies, a lot of innovation, because we know what the standard is. And that, if all the carriers commit to it, which is what they're working on, okay, that's not going to change. You're not going to knock the feet out from underneath of me. That's going to be there. It's kind of like SMS. The same sort of thing. They got together and said, okay, 160 characters. That's the SMS market. And SMS is mainstream now. And so I think it's the same kind of thing that is on the way. It's going to happen. They've seen success. They've seen failures in other countries. So now, we're there. It's not new technology. It's just a matter of getting the pieces in place.